everyone, today I'm taking the brand new Google Pixel 5 out to a portrait photo shoot to see how the camera performs in a real world setting. So just to be clear, this is not a phone review, this is a camera review. So we're going to be diving straight in and testing out all the camera features, including the wide angle lens. We're going to do some portrait mode photos, going to do video this time as well. We're also going to do night sight, portrait night sight, astrophotography, everything. So I'm really excited and we're going to head over to our photo shoot now. Wow, that looks so nice with like the light behind you. So we're going to start by taking some photos just on the standard camera at the default zoom out. That's perfect. This dress suits you so well. The Pixel 5 has a 12.2 megapixel main camera, which is the same as the Pixel 4. It has a 16 megapixel ultra-wide rear camera compared to the Pixel 4, which had a 16 megapixel telephoto rear camera. And then it has an 8 megapixel front camera, similar to the Pixel 4 as well. Just like the Pixel 4 camera, I really enjoyed using the standard camera from the Pixel 5. The rear camera has autofocus with dual pixel phase detection, and it also has optical plus electronic image stabilization. The lens itself has an aperture of f1.7 and a 77-degree field of view, which is about a 27mm on a full frame camera. So we still have our sliders that we had with the Pixel 4. So you've got the overall brightness adjuster that you can use and the shadow booster as well. But I feel like I like it quite contrasty for this area. So I'm going to keep that quite low. As you can see from the images we're taking, even in the shade, the photos are turning out sharp, and the Pixel 5 camera has a great balance between the highlights and shadows. Even when the sun was popping out through the trees, the image looked well exposed overall. I want to try the 2x zoom, so we'll be able to get a bit more of a closer up portrait without as much distortion on like the normal angle lens. Google decided to go in a different direction with the Pixel 5 and added in a wide angle lens instead of a telephoto lens like in the Pixel 4. Oh, that looks nice. You can see in the telephoto images that I'm taking that the photos are not as sharp as the standard camera, but I do think they are still completely usable, keeping in mind phone camera capabilities. And now we'll do some in portrait mode. As a portrait photographer, I really enjoyed using the telephoto lens as you were able to capture really flattering portraits of people with it without the usual distortion from the standard camera when you were completely zoomed out. And then I'm going to try some portrait mode photos at 1.3x crop. So I feel like these are perfect if you want like a really nice close-up photo. However, from a different point of view, I do think the wide-angle lens is more accessible and usable by most users. If you think about it, most people use their phone for group photos or landscape and city shots while traveling, where the wide-angle would come in a lot more handy than the telephoto lens. But moving on to the actual lens in the phone, I absolutely love using the wide-angle camera. If you guys have been on my YouTube channel before, I usually like to shoot portraits with a mixture of telephoto and wide-angle lenses, as I love the distortion it adds to a photo. I feel like it just has a really cool kind of effect. The wide-angle camera is 16 megapixels, it has an aperture of f2.2 and a 107-degree field of view, which is about 16mm on a full-frame camera. And you can also use the little slider to zoom in and out as well, but I do like that they have the shortcuts for just wide-angle, normal, and zoomed in. I feel like it's very convenient. Yeah, that looks so cool. I like that. As you can see, the photos are much sharper with more detail than the telephoto images I took earlier. I'm also really happy with the dynamic range of these shots too. Steph and the foreground are very well exposed, and you can also see plenty of detail in the sky as well. I also just wanted to mention that I edited all these photos I took with my free photo editing app for Android called Digital Film. You can find it on the Play Store and download it and use it for free. If you edit any photos and post them on Instagram, please use the hashtag #DigitalFilmActions, as I would love to see what you guys create with it, and I'm so excited that the app is finally out for Android. So I want to show you guys the video camera next. So I'm going to start with just the normal video camera, and I have the standard video stabilization on, which is just the standard that it's on when you switch on video. And we're going to film a couple of clips here. So I am recording this in 60p, as the two options are 30 and 60, but you guys are watching this in 25p since that's what the rest of the video is filmed on. So I'll try kind of moving back and we'll see how smooth that is. That looks cool. And I'll come in for a close-up. The next video stabilization I want to try is locked, and this says it's for far away still shots, and it automatically goes to 2x zoom. So this will be a lot more zoomed in, so I have to be a bit further back from Steph. Okay, so I'm going to try walking backwards or get a full body shot. And I'll walk back towards Steph. The next stabilization we have is active, which is for heavy movement, which I feel like is perfect for my shaky hands when it comes to filming stuff. This one I feel like looks a little bit more natural than the zoomed in stabilization. It's really nice. Okay, let's walk in. And then the last stabilization we have is cinematic pan. So that is exactly what we're going to do. So the next video option we have is Slo-Mo, and I'm going to start with 4x Slo-Mo. And the last Slo-Mo we have is 8x. So I want to try out the Selfie Cam on this phone as well. So I'm just going to take a couple of photos and I'll show them on the screen for you guys. And something that I noticed straight away is that the face retouching is automatically set to off when you first unbox this camera, this phone. I noticed in the Pixel 4, straight out of the box, the face retouching was on, and now we have two different levels of retouching. So I'm going to take one with the subtle face retouching on, and we can compare to the normal camera. And I'm also going to take one with the smooth face retouching, which I think is the highest setting that you can have it on. While we're doing the video features, I also wanted to try out the Selfie Cam too. And just looking at it on the screen right now, what I'm filming, it looks pretty nice and crisp. So you could potentially use this as like a vlogging camera. I really like the dynamic range right here as well. Like I'm perfectly exposed and you can also see the sky really well too. Seems to do a good job with focusing even with stuff in front of the lens as well as just keeping my face in. As far as I can see, you don't have any stabilization options when it comes to the selfie camera in video mode. I'm assuming it just has it on the general stabilization, but I don't have an option here on the screen to pick any other ones. So I have the Selfie Cam on and we are walking. It's not very flat ground to walk on, so it is what it is. But I mean, it looks pretty stable from what I can see here in this shot. And I feel like it does a pretty good job keeping exposure on my face, even as I move the camera around from the bright to the darker area. Something else that I'm really excited about is now your photos in your Files app has gotten a complete revamp with Android 11. So back on Android 10, every time you took a portrait image, it would create a new folder for that photo, and the same with a RAW photo as well, instead of having it all in the one place. So now with the update, The Files app is a lot cleaner, and I feel like it's a lot easier to find your files as well. And this update will also be available for the Pixel 4 and the 3 as well. So yeah, that's also a very exciting feature. So now when you take a photo in portrait mode, you also have the option to adjust the portrait light, where you can edit that afterwards in your Photos app. So this is a portrait mode photo that I took of Steph, and if I just tap here on edit and head over to adjust, you can just tap on portrait light here and you can adjust like where the light source is coming from. And I just feel like that's a really cool option to have, just to fine tune your portrait images and make them look just that little bit more schmick. So we've waited until nighttime because now we are going to do some Nightsight portraits. We're gonna try portrait mode with Nightsight, which is a new feature that we have now, which I'm super excited about. And we have this really beautiful location where we can see the Harbour Bridge. I already took like a test shot. So the first thing that I wanna do is some handheld Nightsight photos. So I'm going to switch it over to 2x zoom because the Harbour Bridge is a little bit far away and I want it to fill the frame some more. So we'll see how handheld goes with 2x zoom. So we tried out our handheld shots. Now I want to put the camera on the tripod to trigger the astrophotography mode of the camera. And we'll see how different those handheld versus astro photos look side by side. That would have been a really cool astro shot, but we just had a ferry drive straight through our shot, so it's all like blurred long exposure in the photo. Let's try another one. So I'm currently using a free app called Starwalk 2, and you can basically just point the phone in the direction of the sky to be able to see the Milky Way. I can see the Milky Way with my naked eye, but when it comes to putting your phone on a tripod, this makes it a lot easier. So you kind of already have a good idea of where to point your camera to be able to get a night shot, because otherwise, just when you're looking at the camera app, it's all just black. So I'm gonna kind of point it that way. If you wanna get some astro shots, I would also recommend to go somewhere without any light pollution. This is filmed on the Sony a7S III, so don't be fooled, it is like pitch black out here right now. And that's where you're gonna get the best results for the astrophotography. Okay, so I'll open up my camera, switch it to Nightsight, and then you'll see a little pop-up that says astrophotography on. And once that's on, you can press the shutter. And it will take usually about 4 minutes to take the exposure and stitch it all together. Yeah, so now we wait. Oh my gosh. That never fails to impress me, you guys. This is a phone. Look at the shot we just got. So that is all we have for today's camera review of the Google Pixel 5. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think of the camera down in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching. I make new videos every single week, so I'll see you all next time. Bye.